On this day in history, we remember the remarkable individuals who shaped our world. Welcome to Who Died Today in History, where we honor their legacies. From artists to leaders, their impact lives on. If you find their stories meaningful, like, subscribe, and hit the bell to stay connected. Ludwig van Beethoven, one of the most celebrated composers in Western music history, passed away on March 26, 1827, at the age of 56. His death, attributed to a combination of liver disease and other chronic ailments, marked the end of a life filled with artistic triumphs and personal struggles. The circumstances of his passing, accompanied by a violent thunderstorm in Vienna, seemed almost fitting for a man whose music was filled with stormy intensity and profound depth. Beethoven's declining health had been evident for years, exacerbated by his struggles with deafness, alcohol consumption, and various medical conditions that doctors of the time struggled to diagnose accurately. His deafness, which became profound by the time he was in his 40s, shaped much of his later compositions, forcing him to rely on his inner ear and written communication with others. This physical decline reflected the limitations of early 19th century medicine, where even the most brilliant minds were at the mercy of illnesses that could not be properly treated. His death sent ripples throughout the artistic community. Tens of thousands of people attended his funeral in Vienna, a testament to the impact he had on his contemporaries and the broader musical world. His passing did not merely mark the loss of an individual, but symbolized the end of an era in classical music. Beethoven had straddled the classical and romantic periods, transforming musical expression and pushing the boundaries of form and emotion. His influence extended far beyond his lifetime, shaping the works of composers like Brahms, Wagner, and even modern musicians who found inspiration in his defiance of artistic convention. Rather than diminishing his legend, Beethoven's death solidified his place as a near-mythic figure in music history. His struggles with deafness and illness became an integral part of his narrative, emphasizing the idea that genius can triumph over adversity. His story is one of perseverance, demonstrating that even in the face of personal suffering, creativity can flourish. Beethoven remains immortalized in countless ways. His busts adorn concert halls, his music is studied and performed globally, and his life has inspired books, films, and theatrical productions. Pieces like the Ninth Symphony's Ode to Joy have become universal symbols of unity and human resilience, proving that his legacy transcends time and cultural barriers. His death, much like his music, invites reflection on humanity's relationship with mortality, suffering, and artistic greatness. In the end, Beethoven's legacy is not just in the notes he composed, but in the enduring spirit of innovation and emotional depth that his work continues to inspire. Geraldine Ferraro, a trailblazing figure in American politics, passed away on March 26, 2011, at the age of 75. Her death was due to complications from multiple myeloma, a form of blood cancer she had battled for over a decade. Ferraro's passing marked the end of a career dedicated to breaking barriers, particularly for women in politics. Her fight against cancer mirrored the resilience she displayed throughout her life, challenging gender norms and pushing for greater representation in government. Ferraro first rose to national prominence in 1984 when she became the first woman nominated for vice president on a major U.S. party ticket. As Walter Mondale's running mate, her candidacy symbolized a historic shift in American politics, even though the Democratic ticket ultimately lost to Ronald Reagan in a landslide. Despite the defeat, her nomination paved the way for future female leaders, including Hillary Clinton and Kamala Harris, both of whom acknowledged Ferraro's influence in their own political journeys. The news of her death was met with tributes from across the political spectrum, with figures such as President Barack Obama and former President Bill Clinton recognizing her contributions to gender equality and public service. Her passing also reignited discussions about the progress women had made in politics and the challenges that remained. In an era where women were still fighting for equal pay, reproductive rights, and greater political representation, Ferraro's legacy was a reminder of both how far society had come and how much work remained. Ferraro's death did not diminish her impact. Rather, it reinforced her status as a pioneer. Like other political trailblazers before her, she became an enduring symbol of change. Her resilience, both in politics and in her personal battle with cancer, became an inspiration for many. Her influence extended beyond the political realm. She was a champion of education, social justice, and healthcare advocacy, particularly in raising awareness for multiple myeloma. She remains immortalized through various tributes, including awards named in her honor and continued references to her groundbreaking campaign in discussions of gender and politics. Her story is frequently revisited in books, documentaries, and political discourse, ensuring that her contributions are not forgotten. Ferraro's death underscores the way society remembers those who challenge norms and open doors for others. Her legacy is not merely in the history books, but in the growing presence of women in political leadership roles today. In the end, she serves as a reminder that true progress often comes from those willing to push against the barriers of their time, leaving behind a path for future generations to follow. Jan Sterling, a talented actress best known for her roles in classic Hollywood films of the 1950s, passed away on March 26, 2004 at the age of 82. She died of natural causes, complications from diabetes, at her home in Los Angeles. Her death marked the end of an era for a generation of actors who had defined the golden age of film noir and hard-hitting dramas. Sterling rose to fame with her portrayal of tough, streetwise women in films such as Ace in the Hole and The High and the Mighty, the latter earning her an Academy Award nomination for Best Supporting Actress. Her ability to bring depth to morally ambiguous characters made her a standout performer in an industry often defined by rigid archetypes. However, by the 1960s, as Hollywood underwent dramatic shifts with the rise of television and a changing film landscape, Sterling's star power began to fade. Her career trajectory reflected the broader challenges of actresses from the studio era who struggled to find lasting roles as Hollywood's preferences evolved. Her passing did not create the kind of cultural shockwaves that some of her contemporaries' deaths had, but it served as a poignant reminder of Hollywood's transient nature. Unlike the tragic deaths of Marilyn Monroe or James Dean, which turned them into eternal icons, Sterling's departure was quieter, reflective of an actress who had long since retreated from the limelight. However, for those who appreciated classic Hollywood, her death was a moment to reflect on an era when actresses like her brought complexity and grit to the silver screen. Sterling's legacy remains alive through her films, which continue to be studied and admired for their portrayal of strong female characters. The themes of ambition, survival, and resilience in her roles still resonate today, particularly as modern cinema revisits and reinterprets the roles of women in classic film narratives. While she may not be as frequently referenced as some of her contemporaries, her work remains an integral part of Hollywood's history. Her death, like her life, offers a glimpse into the shifting nature of fame and the ways in which we remember those who helped shape cultural history. Unlike figures who die at the height of their renown, Sterling's legacy is a slow-burning one, preserved through retrospectives, film restorations, and the continued appreciation of noir and drama enthusiasts. Through cinema, she remains immortalized, a reminder that the true measure of an artist is not just in their fame, but in the lasting impact of their work. Darlene Cates, best known for her role as Bonnie Grape in What's Eating Gilbert Grape, passed away on March 26, 2017 at the age of 69. She died peacefully in her sleep from natural causes, marking the end of a life that had been both challenging and inspiring. Her death reflected the broader struggles faced by individuals battling severe health issues, while also highlighting society's evolving relationship with body image and representation in film. Cates's rise to fame was unconventional. She was discovered by screenwriter Peter Hedges after appearing on an episode of the Sally Jessy Raphael show, where she spoke openly about her struggles with obesity and agoraphobia. Her authenticity and emotional depth led to her casting as Bonnie Grape, a character whose quiet yet heartbreaking presence anchored the film's themes of family and sacrifice. The role resonated deeply with audiences and critics, and it was widely praised for its sensitivity and realism. However, despite her breakthrough performance, Cates did not have an extensive Hollywood career, largely due to ongoing health issues and the industry's limited opportunities for plus-sized actors. Her passing did not create a media frenzy, but for those who admired her work, it was a moment of reflection on how Hollywood often fails to fully embrace talent that does not fit conventional beauty standards. Cates's legacy lies in her ability to bring raw humanity to the screen, offering a portrayal that was neither exaggerated nor caricatured. Her role as Bonnie Grape remains a testament to the power of representation, reminding audiences that real people with real struggles deserve to have their stories told. The immediate aftermath of her death saw tributes from fans and colleagues, including Leonardo DiCaprio, who credited her with giving one of the most touching performances he had ever seen. While Cates may not have had a vast body of work, her influence extended beyond the screen. She inspired people struggling with their own health issues to see themselves represented with dignity. Her death highlights society's shifting perspectives on inclusion and the representation of diverse body types in media. While progress has been made in recent years, challenges remain, and Cates's story serves as a reminder of how far Hollywood still has to go. She is immortalized through What's Eating Gilbert Grape, a film that continues to be studied and celebrated. Her legacy is one of resilience, talent, and the importance of telling stories that matter. Through cinema, she remains a quiet but powerful presence, a reminder of the beauty in everyday lives. Eazy-E, born Eric Lynn Wright, was a pivotal figure in the emergence of gangsta rap, best known as a founding member of NWA. His untimely death on March 26, 1995, at the age of 30 from complications related to AIDS, shocked the music world and highlighted issues of stigma, awareness, and personal responsibility in the fight against the disease. His passing also underscored the turbulent nature of the hip-hop industry in the early 1990s, a time marked by feuds, violence, and shifting power dynamics. Eazy-E's diagnosis came as a surprise to both his fans and those close to him. In early 1995, he was hospitalized for what was initially believed to be asthma-related complications. However, he was soon diagnosed with AIDS, a revelation that stunned the public given the lack of open discussions about the disease in hip-hop culture at the time. Unlike many celebrities who had battled HIV/AIDS in earlier years, Eazy-E's case brought attention to the risks of unprotected sex, particularly among heterosexual men, challenging misconceptions that still persisted in the 1990s. The immediate aftermath of his death sent shockwaves through the hip-hop community. His sudden passing came at a time when tensions between former NWA members were at an all-time high, particularly with Dr. Dre and Ice Cube. However, his death prompted a reconciliation of sorts, as many of his peers put aside their differences to pay tribute. In his final days, Eazy-E made amends with some of his estranged friends and publicly addressed his fans, urging them to educate themselves about AIDS. His death served as a wake-up call, increasing awareness about the disease in communities that had previously dismissed it as a distant issue. In the years following his passing, Eazy-E's legacy has only grown. His contributions to hip-hop, particularly in pioneering West Coast rap and bringing the harsh realities of street life into mainstream consciousness, have been widely recognized. His influence can be seen in countless artists who have followed in his footsteps, and his work with NWA continues to be celebrated as foundational in the genre. The biopic Straight Outta Compton reignited interest in his life, cementing his status as a hip-hop legend. Eazy-E's death is a reminder of both the fragility of life and the enduring power of cultural icons. He remains immortalized through his music, the ongoing impact of NWA, and the awareness his passing brought to a critical health crisis. In death, as in life, Eazy-E's influence continues to shape conversations around art, authenticity, and responsibility. Walter Abel, the distinguished American character actor, passed away on March 26, 1987, at the age of 88. His death, attributed to natural causes, reflected the inevitable passage of time for an actor whose career spanned over 5 decades. Unlike the dramatic and sometimes tragic deaths of many Hollywood figures, Abel's passing was peaceful, marking the end of a life dedicated to stage and screen rather than scandal or controversy. His career thrived during Hollywood's golden age, and his longevity allowed him to witness the transformation of the film and theater industries across the 20th century. Abel's legacy was rooted in his versatility and reliability as a performer. Unlike the larger-than-life celebrities of his era, whose deaths often carried political or social consequences, his passing did not send shockwaves through the entertainment industry. However, his death served as a reminder of the fading generation of classically trained stage actors who seamlessly transitioned to film during the rise of Hollywood. As television and new forms of entertainment took over in the latter half of the 20th century, actors like Abel became emblematic of a bygone era, one in which craftsmanship and theatrical training were paramount. The immediate response to Abel's death was one of quiet respect rather than sensationalism. Unlike actors who were often associated with personal turmoil or public spectacle, Abel was known for his professionalism, which ensured that he remained a respected but perhaps underappreciated figure in Hollywood history. He was not a tabloid fixture, nor did he court controversy. Instead, his career was built on steady and consistent performances in films such as The Three Musketeers and Hold Back the Dawn, as well as numerous Broadway productions. His death marked the loss of a performer whose work contributed significantly to both film and theater without dominating the public consciousness. In the grander scheme of cultural memory, Abel's death speaks to the way certain artists, despite immense contributions, can fade from widespread recognition over time. Unlike tragic or violent deaths that tend to immortalize figures in popular culture, Abel's legacy lives on primarily through the work he left behind, rather than through mythology or scandal. He is remembered by classic film enthusiasts and historians as a stalwart supporting actor who embodied a certain era of Hollywood, one where skill and dedication often outweighed celebrity status. Ultimately, Abel's passing underscores the transient nature of fame and the enduring value of craftsmanship. While he may not be as widely remembered as some of his contemporaries, his contributions to stage and screen remain a testament to the dedication of actors who helped shape the film industry. Through the preservation of classic films and theatrical retrospectives, Abel continues to be honored as a symbol of a refined and disciplined approach to acting, ensuring that his work endures even as time moves forward. Ranking Roger, the influential British musician and frontman of The Beat, passed away on March 26, 2019, at the age of 56. His death was attributed to complications from lung cancer and a brain tumor, marking a tragic end to the life of a musician whose work helped define the sound of British ska and two-tone music in the late 20th century. His passing reflected the broader struggles of aging musicians from his era, many of whom had spent decades touring and performing, often without the financial security or healthcare access afforded to major mainstream artists. Roger's death was a significant loss to the ska and punk communities, as he had been a vital force in keeping the two-tone movement alive for decades. As a Black British artist in a genre that blended Jamaican ska with British punk energy, he played a crucial role in addressing racial and social issues through music. His work in the beat and later general public carried messages of unity, anti-racism, and resilience, making his voice one of the defining sounds of multicultural Britain in the late 20th century. His passing not only marked the loss of a musician, but also the fading of a movement that had once been at the heart of Britain's response to racial tensions and social unrest in the 1980s. The immediate response to his death was an outpouring of tributes from fellow musicians and fans, highlighting his impact on multiple generations. Artists from across the ska, punk, and reggae scenes recognized his contributions, underscoring how his influence stretched beyond his own recordings. The timing of his passing, in an era when Britain was once again grappling with issues of immigration and cultural identity, made his loss feel particularly poignant. His music had always been a bridge between communities, and his death served as a reminder of the power of art in fostering unity during turbulent times. Ranking Roger's legacy lives on through his music, which continues to be celebrated in ska and punk circles. His recordings remain anthems of resistance and joy, and the two-tone movement itself continues to inspire new generations of musicians who blend social consciousness with infectious rhythms. His passing, while deeply felt, has not diminished his presence in the music world. If anything, it has cemented his status as a pivotal figure in the evolution of British music. Ultimately, Roger's death reminds us of the way music can transcend time, carrying messages that remain relevant long after an artist is gone. He is commemorated through reissues of his work, tribute concerts, and the ongoing influence he has on modern ska and punk musicians. In the end, his voice and vision endure, ensuring that his contributions to music and social change are not forgotten. Curly Neal, the legendary basketball showman best known for his time with the Harlem Globetrotters, passed away on March 26, 2020, at the age of 77. His death was attributed to natural causes, marking the end of an era for one of the most recognizable and beloved figures in basketball entertainment. Neal, with his signature shaved head, dazzling dribbling skills, and infectious charisma, embodied the joy and artistry of the Globetrotters, a team that transcended the sport itself. Neal's passing occurred during the early months of the COVID-19 pandemic, a time when the world was grappling with uncertainty, loss, and isolation. His death served as a reminder of the joy that sports and entertainment bring to people's lives, especially in difficult times. For decades, he had been a global ambassador for basketball, demonstrating that the game was not only about competition, but also about entertainment, unity, and inspiration. The immediate reaction to Neal's death was an outpouring of tributes from the basketball world and beyond. The Harlem Globetrotters honored him as one of the most important figures in their history, while NBA legends, including Magic Johnson, reflected on how Neal had influenced generations of players with his dribbling wizardry. The Globetrotters had long served as a symbol of racial progress in American sports, breaking barriers and showcasing Black athletic excellence at a time when professional leagues were still grappling with integration. Neal, as one of the team's most famous players, was a key figure in this legacy. His passing underscored the importance of the Globetrotters' role in sports history and reignited appreciation for their impact on the game. Neal's legend did not fade with his death. Instead, it was amplified as fans revisited classic footage of his incredible ball handling and warm, engaging personality. His style influenced modern basketball, particularly the rise of flashy dribbling moves seen in today's NBA stars like Stephen Curry and Kyrie Irving. His ability to make the game fun while showcasing exceptional skill continues to be celebrated, ensuring that his legacy lives on. Ultimately, Neil's death highlights how figures of joy and entertainment hold a special place in human memory. While championship rings and statistics often define sports careers, Neil's impact was measured in smiles, laughter, and inspiration. He is immortalized through footage of his Globetrotters performances, the ongoing influence of his playing style, and the lasting mark he left on basketball culture. His story is a testament to the power of sports to bring people together and create lasting joy, proving that true greatness is not only about winning, but about making a lasting impact on the world. Halston, the iconic American fashion designer, passed away on March 26, 1990, at the age of 57 due to complications from AIDS-related cancer. His death reflected the devastating impact of the AIDS epidemic, which was at its peak in the 1980s and early 1990s. The disease disproportionately affected the LGBTQ+ community and the creative industries, claiming the lives of numerous artists, designers, and performers. Halston's passing underscored the urgency of the public health crisis and the need for greater awareness, medical research, and advocacy. Halston, born Roy Halston Frowick, revolutionized American fashion in the 1970s, defining an era of minimalist yet luxurious style. His elegant, fluid designs were worn by celebrities, socialites, and first ladies alike, making him one of the most influential designers of his time. However, his meteoric rise was followed by a dramatic fall. His brand was sold to corporate interests, leading to a loss of creative control. By the end of his life, he had largely disappeared from the fashion industry he once dominated. The immediate reaction to Halston's death was a mix of mourning and reflection on his impact. The fashion world recognized the loss of a visionary who had redefined American glamour, while his death also contributed to growing discussions about AIDS and its effect on the artistic community. Many other designers, such as Für Elise, had also succumbed to the disease, highlighting how the epidemic was not only a public health crisis, but also a cultural tragedy that stripped the world of immense talent. Although Halston's career had waned in his later years, his death did not diminish his legacy. Instead, it reignited interest in his work and his influence on modern fashion. Documentaries, books, and even television series, such as the 2021 Netflix miniseries Halston, starring Ewan McGregor, have since explored his rise, fall, and enduring impact. His signature styles, from ultra-suede shirt dresses to bias-cut gowns, continue to inspire designers today. Halston's passing is a reminder of the fragility of creative genius and the tragic loss brought by the AIDS crisis. His story illustrates how the intersection of artistry, commerce, and personal struggles can shape a legacy. He is immortalized not only through his timeless designs, but also through the continued fascination with his life, a tale of brilliance, ambition, and the fleeting nature of fame. His influence persists in modern fashion, proving that true visionaries never fade from memory. Noel Coward, the legendary playwright, composer, actor, and wit, passed away on March 26, 1973, at the age of 73. His death, attributed to heart failure, was a natural but poignant ending to a life dedicated to the arts. Coward's passing marked the close of an era of refined British theatrical and cinematic sophistication, leaving behind a legacy that continues to shape entertainment today. Coward's career spanned decades, from the golden age of interwar theater to the glamour of mid-century film and music. His sharp dialogue, elegant humor, and mastery of social satire defined a style that was both distinctly British and universally admired. He was a man of contrasts, polished yet subversive, traditional yet modern. However, by the time of his death, the world of entertainment was evolving, moving toward grittier, more experimental forms of storytelling. His passing underscored the transition from the poised elegance of early 20th century theater to the raw, more visceral works that defined the 1970s. The immediate consequences of his death were tributes from across the artistic world. Luminaries such as Laurence Olivier, Richard Attenborough, and John Gielgud mourned his loss, emphasizing his unparalleled contributions to drama, film, and music. Though he had somewhat receded from public life in his later years, Coward's reputation as a trailblazer remained intact. He had been knighted in 1970, a recognition long overdue, especially considering his immense influence on British cultural life. Coward's death did not diminish his legend. Instead, it elevated him to an almost mythical status. His works, including Blithe Spirit, Private Lives, and Brief Encounter, remain staples of theater and film, while his songs, such as Mad About the Boy and I'll See You Again, continue to be performed by musicians across generations. His razor-sharp wit and impeccable sense of style have made him a lasting icon, celebrated in biographies, documentaries, and even stage revivals of his greatest plays. His passing also reflects humanity's relationship with mortality, power, and memory. As a man who carefully curated his public persona, Coward understood the importance of legacy. His works endure because they capture timeless themes: love, ambition, wit, and the absurdities of human nature. His influence extends beyond theater and music. His distinctive style, confidence, and refusal to conform continue to inspire artists and performers. Statues, biographies, and even the Noel Coward Theatre in London stand as reminders of his genius, ensuring that his legacy lives on. Coward's death was not a tragic loss, but a transition, a moment in history that solidified his place among the greats. He left the world as he had lived in it, with elegance, wit, and an unshakable sense of artistry.